You know you can stay in stunning homes across Mount Hood, the coast, Central Oregon, all of our state's beautiful landscapes, and save over 5 to 15% by just going through a local business? Cascadia Getaways is Oregon-owned and operated by locals who love this state as much as you do. Visit CascadiaGetaways.com to book your next trip or partner with their team. That's CascadiaGetaways.com.
You can make a difference in someone's life, including your own, with a job in home care. These jobs offer flexible schedules, healthcare, retirement options, and free training. They also provide paid time off and opportunities for overtime. Visit OregonHomeCareJobs.com to learn more and apply. That's OregonHomeCareJobs.com.
Portland's got a robust cycling community, which is epitomized by the annual World Naked Bike Ride. We were one of the first cities to host a large-scale nude protest ride way back in 2004, and ever since, thousands of people have been stripping down and pedaling through the streets every year. But this year, it's getting a little bit complicated. Portland is actually set to host 2 naked bike rides this year, just weeks apart. And let's just say there's a bit of tension over which one counts as the real naked bike ride, and how we ended up here in the first place. Today on CityCast Portland, Willamette Week arts and culture reporter Rachel Saslow joins us to break it all down. It's Thursday, July 24th. I'm John Notarianni in for Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Rachel, thank you for being here. It's naked bike ride season, the best time of the year in Portland.
Is it? No.
You're the expert. We brought you on to know everything about it.
Oh, I know a lot about it. I'm not sure. I think it's the best time of year because of the naked bike rides, but that's my own issues. And I feel very happy for all the thousands of people who do feel empowered to ride their bikes naked in Portland. I am not personally one of them, but I know it's very popular.
Yeah, you've never done this, right? Like, what's your personal relationship with the naked bike ride?
Just seeing it go through a neighborhood one time about, 5 or 10 years ago, I had just come out of a nice dinner. I knew the World Naked Bike Ride was happening that night. I was a little bit new to town. It was very naive of me at the time, but I think I didn't really understand that naked meant naked. I thought naked was like, oh yeah, with a bikini top. Nope. It was naked. And I was very amused by the whole thing. And I saw it for 1 minute and then I was like, I should give these people their privacy. And I went home. That's my whole personal involvement with the World Naked Bike Ride. What about you?
So my experience, I was living in St. John's and I heard that it was starting at Cathedral Park. So I was like, well, it's starting right over there. So I got a little backpack and I rode my bike over. And there was 1 million people in the streets naked. So I took my clothes off and put them in my backpack and started riding. And it was really fun for a minute. And then I was just in a bike traffic jam and was walking my bike.
Oh, no.
Because there was too many people.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, this isn't working for me. So I put my clothes back on, went off the route, went to a bar, had a beer, waited for the crowd to disperse a bit. Tried a second time and the same thing happened again.
Really?
I got in, I rode for 5 minutes and then I was just in a naked person traffic jam again.
What year was that, do you think?
That was probably this was before the pandemic. It was probably 2018, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really popular.
Yeah. So where did all of this come from? Why did naked bike rides start in the first place?
Yeah, so it started in 2004 here in Portland, but it actually started in 2000 worldwide. I think it was in Spain and Canada. And it started as a protest of oil dependence and a statement on body positivity and cyclist safety. Portland adopting it in 2004, we were really one of the first cities, the first handful of cities. Now it's in, I think, 36 countries. So it's truly all over the world. It's volunteer run. And those are still the core issues that people are protesting when they do the ride.
So, okay, it started in like 2004. Obviously, at this point, we all kind of know it. It's a Portland tradition in a sense. But like at that moment when it first started, like were people on board with it? Was the city just like have a good time? Was there tension?
Ooh, that's interesting. I actually don't really know. I didn't talk because it's all volunteer run. The leadership turns over. It's also a huge lift on these leadership teams to run these events for no pay that are for 10,000 people. So I haven't actually talked to any of the people who originally brought it to Portland. But the reason it's legal is because it is a protest, and that's protected under the First Amendment. I think that was part of why I was so naive about it being a truly naked bike ride, is because I didn't think that was legal. I was like, well, you can't just ride your bike naked 6 miles through the city. You get arrested. Anyway, silly things I once thought before I had lived in Portland long enough. But yeah, the Portland police cooperate with it every year. Portland has been pretty receptive to it. There are other places where the host city has tried to shut it down and the rides have stayed very small because it's in this constant tension with the police. And that is certainly not the story here in Portland.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's wild about here in Portland is every year I know they like shut down a bunch of streets to be able to make it happen. But those street closures aren't really announced ahead of time, right?
Right. So the only thing that's announced ahead of time is the start park. So this year it's Saturday, July 26th, and it starts in Grant Park. And that's all the riders know. The organizers have a 6.5-mile route that they've been working on for almost an entire year. But for rider safety, that is not disclosed before the ride. And they actually don't shut down all the streets for 6.5 miles, but instead they have what are called in rides corkers, which are volunteer riders to like stop in intersections and make sure the cars don't go along the route. But the roads it's not like all those roads are actually closed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've been talking with some of the organizers that I understand are just like so passionate and love this so much. What's their take on it? Like the people who are actually putting in the work to make this happen, what do they love about it so much?
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I talked to the lead wrangler for Portland World Naked Bike Ride this year. His name is Herman, and he is so passionate about this ride. He talked to me about how important it was for him as a person of color to have this visibility, how important it has been for him in his own journey of self-acceptance as a person of color. He's the one who was trying to convince me to do the ride, and he was honestly so convincing. I did have half a mind to be like, well, maybe this is what I'm doing on Saturday. But he really talks about the ride. It seems like it's the highlight of his year. And that's why he is now at the head of the leadership committee.
Yeah, I want to get into some of the drama that is actually surrounding this year's ride. But first, let's take a quick break.
Paint Care has 3 simple rules to help you paint smarter. 1. Buy only what you need. Determining the right amount of paint for your next project can be tricky, but tips like measuring your space and asking your local paint store for advice will help ensure you have enough for your project while minimizing waste. 2. Use up what you have. Look around your house and find simple DIY projects where you can use up your paint. Or you could give away your leftover paint to friends, neighbors, or community groups who could benefit from it. 3. Recycle the rest at convenient locations like your neighborhood paint store. Paint Care even offers direct pickups for households and businesses with more than 100 gallons of leftover paint. Learn more or find a paint drop-off site near you at paintcare.org/3simplerules. I am so excited to tell you about the North Coast Express. That's the new seasonal transit option connecting Portland to the most iconic destinations on the Oregon North Coast. On top of just getting to sit back and relax since you're not driving, all buses include free Wi-Fi and charging ports, onboard restrooms, panoramic windows and reclining seats, wheelchair accessible lifts, and you can grab the bus from Portland Fridays through Sunday through the end of August. There's flexible return day ticketing, which lets you choose between a spontaneous day trip or a longer coastal stay. For more information like tickets, schedules, and the full route, go to visittheoregoncoast.com/express. That's visittheoregoncoast.com/express.
This episode of CityCast is sponsored by Babbel. Learning a new language opens the door to new friends, new cultures, maybe even a whole new life. So why not start that journey today? You can start speaking a new language with confidence thanks to Babbel's conversation-based technique that quickly teaches you useful words and phrases about the things you actually talk about in the real world. I'm CityCast CEO David Plotz, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel, just one of the 12 languages you can learn with it, including Dutch, French, Italian, which is going to be next for me, Turkish, and Russian. I love the interactive dialogues that Babbel has, which allow me to practice what I've learned right away, and also the speech recognition function, which makes sure I'm getting the pronunciation just right, which honestly, usually I'm not. Also, I love that Babbel's lessons always cover actual things that I talk about in the real world, like food, talking to people I've just met, and also food. Staying motivated to learn a new language has never been easier thanks to real-time feedback, progress trackers, and handy visualizations, in only 10 to 15 minutes a day on Babbel's mobile app or website. So get talking with Babbel. I want you to learn another language, so I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/citycast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/citycast. Spelled BABBEL.com/citycast. Babbel.com/citycast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This past year was supposed to be like the 20th anniversary, and it didn't happen. It got canceled. Like, what's going on?
Right. So in 2024, it was supposed to be the 20th anniversary ride in Portland. And in the lead up to the event, like I would say it was 3 or 4 months leading up, they didn't have the leadership team in place that they needed. The route wasn't finalized. Like I said, this year they've had the route for, 9 to 12 months ready. It was like March or April and they still didn't have the route finalized. Like a lot of big pieces were not in place. And because it's an all volunteer organization, that comes with its own challenges in terms of accountability. So This woman, Megan Sinot, she was the lead wrangler then, and she pulled the plug for safety reasons and said, we are not having this bike ride, even though it's the 20th year. We don't feel safe. And that was the first news story that actually, I think my editor wrote that one, but that's the first one Willamette Week did where we started kind of tracking, like, wait a minute, what is happening with the World Naked Bike Ride this year? And then it's sort of been like a year of coverage since then.
So this is where I get confused. There's the Portland World Naked Bike Ride. Now there is also the World Naked Bike Ride Portland, which is different. So there's 2 competing rides that are happening. What is this all about?
Yes. So the next part of the story was after that first ride shut down, the main one, a small group of riders and ride organizers just did not want the 20th anniversary to go unmarked. And World Naked Bike Ride is not a trademarked for-profit thing. Anyone can have a World Naked Bike Ride. That's why they're all over the world. So they said, this is not your property. We're going to do the 20th anniversary ride ourselves. And they put together a ride, I think it was in September, and they just moved the word Portland to the end of the ride to try to differentiate it. Obviously, it was still pretty confusing for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they ran the ride. It was much smaller than the original one. It was about 1,000 people instead of 10,000 people. And it had a slightly different flavor to it. Again, I wasn't a participant, but I've interviewed a lot of people who organized it and attended. And it had a slightly different, more political bend to it. So they did a die-in in front of Zenith Energy to protest fossil fuels. It really got back to the roots of why politically these World Naked Bike Rides are important. So yeah, and by all accounts that I heard, that ride went really, really well. So they are running it again this year. So now we have Portland World Naked Bike Ride this Saturday, July 26th. And then on August 9th, 2 weeks later, we have World Naked Bike Ride Portland.
Okay.
And you can participate in both, neither, whatever you want.
And since I'm sure that everybody is having a hard time keeping these 2 names straight, the earlier one in July, that's the original ride. That's like the giant one, right? That's the one that's been going for 20 years.
Yeah, sort of in my shorthand, I call that the big ride. And then I think I call the other one the new ride.
And the new ride on August 9th is the smaller one, the slightly more political one, right?
Yes.
How are the organizations feeling about these rides, like basically happening back to back?
Well, I know that the people from we'll just go ahead with my shorthand and say the big ride, the original ride. Some of those organizers were kind of hoping that the secondary ride, the new ride, was just a one-time thing. They were just filling the gap in 2024 to make sure there was a 20th anniversary ride. They were kind of hoping it would just go away after that. But it was pretty successful, and they are starting to build their own organization. And there is clearly an appetite in Portland for that much nude bicycling that we can sustain 2 of these rides within 2 weeks. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes this year, but it is planned. I think they'll both be successful, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think this is the new normal? Are we going to have 2 back-to-back naked bike rides every summer?
Gosh, I don't know. I kind of think we'll look back on this in a decade and be like, remember when there were 2? I kind of think the groups will reconcile. Maybe that's hopeful. I don't know. There were a lot of hard feelings on both sides. And so after talking to both of them, I kind of do have this hope that they will somehow reconcile and go back to one big primary ride. But I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe this is your moment. Maybe you go from doing 0 naked bike rides to doing 2 naked bike rides just out of support.
And that's the thing. They do say it's as bare as you dare. So they would be totally happy with me doing this ride in a bikini that, they really do want anyone to participate in whatever way they feel comfortable. And I could do it in a swimsuit. But even a swimsuit, I usually wear a one piece. Like, I don't think I'm cut out for it, is what I'm saying.
Let the 10,000 people have their fun. Rachel Saslow is going to sit this one out. Okay, so this started in 2004 as this sort of like quirky Portland protest moment. And it's obviously grown into this like cultural phenomena. And now there's 2 of them. Like, how do you think about the World Portland Naked Bike Rides, plural, in this moment? Like, does this still feel attached to like the identity of Portland? Does it tell us anything about the way that Portland is changing?
Ooh, I think it is extremely Portland. Oh, sometimes I write stories and I just am overcome with the Portlandness of them. This was certainly one of them, where it was the dueling World Naked Bike Rides, and the 2 groups were both trying to be so intentional with how they were putting on their events, but they just ideologically couldn't do it anymore with the other person. So they peacefully split and went in their own naked bike ride directions. I mean, it is one of the most Portland stories I've ever done. And I say that with a full heart. It definitely says a lot about our Portland culture that there even was this rift, and that our city can maybe sustain 2 of these rides. I don't know. I kind of think this is an awkward interim, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, it is pretty Portland. There can be like, oh man, like the internal sort of like political disagreements at the Portland World Naked Bike Ride means that there's 2 of them this year. Is a very Portland sentence.
Exactly.
Well, okay. So big ride July 26th, small ride August 9th. If people want to be brave or political or for whatever reason want to participate, what do they need to know? Like, how do you do this?
So you go to Grant Park Saturday, July 26th. Starting at 6:30, you can go to the park, and the ride starts at 8:30. So there's 2 hours where there is music. There's going to be a samba band. There's going to be body painting. So you can go with nothing and then get painted. I think it's a really fun, festive atmosphere before the ride, and then it takes off from there. So you don't have to sign up. I would bring, what would I even bring? I would bring water, some chafing cream. I don't know what you bring.
A small towel, maybe?
A lot of towels.
A lot of towels?
No, I don't know. Probably people who are more chill are doing this ride, clearly, than I am. So I'm sure they know what to bring. Yeah. And I think just you follow the group, and I bet it's really empowering and wonderful. And then the August ninth ride. I'm not sure what their start park is this year, but you can find both of them on Instagram. I'd say that's actually the best way to track both of these rides. Both of them have like Instagram accounts that are updated frequently that'll give you everything you need with their start parks and timing and what to bring and all those things.
Yeah. Well, Rachel, thank you for all your research and walking us through this and helping us understand what's going on with the dueling naked bike rides. You still have a moment. You can still make it out there. You know.
I do. I still have time to think about it for sure. Thank you for having me.
Now, the World Naked Bike Ride isn't the only thing happening in Portland this weekend. Every Thursday on the show, we like to bring you a few recommendations to help you plan your weekend. Here's what we got today. This Friday, porches, driveways, and sidewalks across Milwaukee will turn into live music stages for the final weekend of this year's Porch Fest. It's a neighborhood-wide hangout where you can walk or bike in between performances, meet some neighbors, and just catch some great local bands. Or if you're craving a little magic, McMenamin's Kennedy School is hosting Wizarding Weekend. You can kind of think of it like Harry Potter, but with beer. It runs Friday through Sunday, so there's plenty of time to get your wizard robes ready. Finally, Project Pabst is making its comeback to Tom McCall Waterfront Park on Saturday and Sunday this year, with a lineup that includes bands like Iggy Pop, Devo, Death Cab for Cutie, and much more. And of course, this is just a slice of what's happening around town. For more local events and stories, sign up for our daily newsletter, Hey Portland, or check out our website at portland.citycast.fm. Well, that's all for today here on CityCast Portland, but thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend or leave us a rating or a review? We'll be back tomorrow with much more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.